Oh, hey, what's up, y'all? Um, I was just reflecting, taking a moment to reflect and really um, give myself a pat on the back. You know, a lot of experiences that we have, we can't really take that time to give ourselves a trophy, give ourselves a reward, because by the end of the day, our mind is so busy with other people and other people's expectations of us. Um, so I feel like I have come a long way. And I say this because I've been in a few experiences recently to, give me that confirmation. I got that confirmation like, oh my gosh, like, hold up. I really can handle this. I remember back then I wouldn't be able to handle it. But the only reason we're unable to handle certain situations is because we haven't been put in that position to be us, to fully accept ourselves for who we are. So when someone else don't accept us, we're questioning them and we're just beating ourselves up because in reality or actuality, we haven't accepted ourselves first. Once we accept ourselves and accept our situation, we can really appreciate every experience for what it is. You know, if we can appreciate being on the outside looking in, we can see it and we can notice it and we can acknowledge it and we can allow that moment to pass on, and continue on without us because we've done enough work on ourselves and we have become strong enough with the grace of God to allow life to become passive. It's a lot of situations that I know back then would have broken me. And now I can just see the situation for what it is and be like, okay, and I can just walk away. And I can accept any decision. I can accept any choice that's against me to be free, you know? As women, we are so emotional. We become devastated. We be like, oh my gosh, the world has ended if I don't get my way. But when you come to a point of evolving, you know, um, that change that you made back then is now you, is the shell that you're breaking out of, you know, and you've broken out of that shell and you're just looking at that shell and you're looking at those pieces. And instead of putting those pieces back together, you allow that shell to be there, broken into pieces, and you're like, well, it isn't broken. That's not something that is a mistake. That's something that is natural, naturally meant to happen. Because everything that seems broken is only, proof of the next moment. It's proof that life has gone on. It's proof that something has been created and something has made it out alive. You know, proof that what was there isn't there anymore. It's only proof. So yeah, um, so again, it's hard to really notice, and it's hard to really sit with your accomplishments because that's how life is, you know. It's hard to realize everything that you've gotten done, and it's hard to realize your own progress because life has a way of holding us back. Well, I won't say life, I would say the world has a way of holding us back and not allowing you to accept or not allowing you to grow because we're so stuck again in that conditioned mindset, in that fixated mindset that this is how it has to be, you know. And one of those limitations are relationships with other people. You know, you can't see how far you came because this other person that doesn't want you, that has some type of, you know, work to do on themselves, is holding you back from seeing what you've accomplished. Sometimes you need to see your progress and see how far you came in order to move on to what's next, in order to and move on with someone else or move on to what's next for you, because that's what it's all about. When you take a test, you want to see those results. You don't want to take the test and then, you know, without seeing what's in it for you. You took this test and now you're wondering, oh, did I ace it? Did I fail it? What happened? You know? And seeing the results gives you clarity, you know? It hurts you, but it also pushes you forward. I got an A, cool, you know? That means I can basically just, you know, humble myself and I can sit with solitude knowing that I'm going in the right direction and I just gotta maintain at this point. You receive a F, dang, that hurt. But with this F is showing me that I still have work to do in my life. I still have a lot of work to do, and I still have a lot to um, work on. It'll let you know where you are at. It'll let you know where you're at in life. The other part of my brain is like, well, what if you didn't know? What if you took that test and you kept walking on and didn't look back? You'll never know, you know? But that's walking in life with a blindfold, and I can say that I've experienced that. And it isn't fun, and it just puts you in a place of where I was back then, where I seen that, something right here, something is missing, you know? What's missing is your own attention. You have to pay attention and receive that feeling for yourself. Find that feeling for yourself. What is that feeling of courage or pride or happiness? What is that feeling? If you don't give yourself time, or if you don't take time to see for yourself, that you've only passed it by. You passed by that feeling of happiness. You passed by that moment because you were too stuck on going to the next moment, going to the next step. You didn't give yourself time to celebrate. Celebrate yourself, you know. You did it, and you've come so far. This means something. This means a lot. It means that you're strong. It means that you've made it. It means that you're ready. We go on without knowing if we're ready or not. Don't you want to know if you're ready or not? You know? What are you actually preparing for? You won't know if you don't stick around to receive your results or to see your results. And when you do, you don't be like, oh yeah, you know, back then, you don't just beat yourself up about who you was back then. You acknowledge and you're like, okay, this is who I am today. This is how far I came. Wow, I'm very appreciative of everything that I experienced, because if I didn't experience, I wouldn't know what this moment means. But you do. So yeah, with that being said, that's all I wanted to say and talk about. Um, like, comment, subscribe, be notified, share to all for you to show you care.